Hi guys, my name is Amit and I'm back with another episode of the Test Talk Show. Today I have with me Santhosh Kumar. Santhosh is a test automation architect at Moolya, has been with us for a long time and does a lot of great work for us. He is not just helping the organization on the automation side, he helps us on our solutioning, he helps us in our recruitment processes and is a 360-degree person. I'm really happy to have this conversation with you, Santosh, today. And I hope the time that we spend together is really mutually beneficial to both of us, but a lot more beneficial to you.
Thank you.
Great. Santosh, to start with, normally in our sessions we talk about our life journeys. So I would want to start with asking you, where are you from originally, and how was your childhood? How did did it have any impact on you becoming a software tester later?
Okay, thanks, Amit. Hey, hi everyone. So I'm from Tamil Nadu. So I did my schooling and college in Tamil Nadu itself. So when I did my schooling, I took the science stream, which is biology stream, because my parents wanted me to become a doctor.
Okay.
Right. But the cutoff marks were not up to the, medical stream. So I decided that the next preference for me was to take engineering, and in engineering, I decided I'll go for computer science. I had that interest. If not biology, then it will be computer science. Then I joined a college in Coimbatore, and I did my computer science there. The college is pretty good. They had a very good lab, and the lecturers were very much technically strong people. So I did my college over there, and during the time we get placements. So third year itself we used to get placements, not in final years and all. You get third year placement at the end of 6th semester itself. So multiple companies come to our college for placement. So Wipro was one of the company. So I cleared the interview there, and I got the offer in my third year itself. And then final year, so we are supposed to do projects, right? So the projects, we can take any projects, but Wipro, what they did was they wanted us to do the projects which they suggest, which are there in their pipeline and all. So they gave those projects to whoever is placed in Wipro. So we got a project, and
which year was this?
This was in 2008. 2008 I got placed. Sorry, 7 I got placed. So 8 we got the project. So we got the project, and successfully.
9 is when you graduated.
Yeah, 9 is when I graduated, and then the recession hits on 2008. So there was no call from Wipro for next 9 months. We didn't get call after we completed it was the same in almost every company. Only company at that time was Infosys, who does some training for these people. They call them and then does some training. Then after 9 months, Wipro called us. But during that time, I was looking for other opportunities. And then I was doing some trainings, courses and all. Then after 9 months, Wipro called us.
So when you got interviewed for Wipro, was it for specifically software testing role, automation role, or
no? It's generic. It's generic. So they have aptitude and one technical round, one HR round. So these are the rounds.
Did you have interest in coding at that point also?
Yeah, because I was doing computer science course. So we were learning all C, C++, Java. Python was not there. C# was there. So all of this program. So I had the interest in coding. Then after I joined Wipro, so it was not specifically for testing they took, but based on the projects they have at that particular time and the people who come in, so they allocate the projects.
So when there was this time period of 8-9 months when there was no call coming, was there like a lot of uncertainty?
Yeah, definitely. There was uncertainty. But what happened was the seniors who got placed before us, right? Even they have not got their offers.
Projects.
So, but Wipro, there was a constant communication was there. Okay. They told us that definitely you'll get a call. And then they sent us a book to learn also. To some programming book, if I'm not wrong. So they sent us a book to learn, and they conducted one more test also before we joined. And then once we joined there, I was interested in development actually.
Did you know that software testing exists?
No. No.
Did not know.
Software testing exists, I know, but I didn't know that I would go to software testing or not. Okay, because I thought that okay, I'm from computer science background, so coding experience is there, so I'll go to development. So my thought process was always like, so I'm going to work in developing some applications, all those things are there. So I got into Wipro. So initially they started with software testing training. There were some general trainings for that. Then after that, it started with they split the batch. Few people went into development training, few people went into software testing training. But that time we went and asked all of us, because we were around 50 plus people from my college itself in that batch. So we went and asked, we wanted to do development. We were from computer science. They said that definitely you'll get an opportunity. But currently, based on our projects, this is assigned for you. But you can still go into the project. And if you still don't think that this is the right path for you, you can come back to us and then we'll change. That's what they said. So it was fine for us. Then we got into the project. And then in the project also, since we requested for coding and all, they told that they'll assign us test automation. Okay, so test automation, and then we didn't know what is test automation, at least. So then we went that, and then they told us that test automation is also, you have coding over there, and you'll be doing a lot of coding. You'll be working on frameworks. You'll be working on developing test scripts. You'll be working on C, C++, Java. So yes, fine. Yeah.
How big an impact was? So was there a learning process there? Did they train you on anything, or it was actually start working?
See, before that we had training, but once we got into the project, it was totally different what we learned actually. Because the project what we got into was a telecom client actually. And they have a huge lab set up over there. And the programming language what they used for scripting is proprietary language. It is not available outside. It's similar to C, so you can't learn it before anywhere. So once you get inside, you have to learn. So we had KT sessions and all, not a very big KT sessions. They suggest us to learn by exploring ourselves. So that was good.
How the learnings that you had at that time in that project, how big an impact did it have on your current work?
Definitely it has a huge impact, because it was not a very simple project as such. It was a complex project. You had to start from scratch, right? So it was not like you know this stuff already. So you have to explore. So when you explore, right, you don't have that experience of exploring also. Everything is taught to you in college, right? You have books to read, all those things. Here it didn't have documentations and all. So you have to go through code and learn stuff, right? So you learn your debugging skills, coding skills, actual implementation in a project, in the first project itself. So many of the projects, when you start with, right, what they do is they will have all the framework ready. They will have all the test script ready. You just need to go follow some test case steps and write test scripts. But here it was not like that. We didn't have proper framework documentation. They told that you debug the code and understand the framework is what they said to us.
So they had an existing framework in
Everything, place. Existing framework in place, and scripts were also in place. But as I mentioned, it's not a typical web application or a mobile application automation. It's a telecom software application automation. So,
and was it like a hardware connected?
Hardware should be, first you need to set up the test environment. So when I say test environment, you have the actual towers inside your lab. You'll have mobile phones connected to your PC, and then it has a RF box which is responsible for your network connection and all. So it was really interesting. It's not like what we expected when we get into. We thought that we'll sit in front of a laptop and then start coding. That's
good. I think it is also the mentality of person. Correct. A problem statement, you look at it as a problem or as an opportunity.
Correct.
I'm guessing it was a huge opportunity for good learning that has had like a growth, a big growth impact.
Correct. As you mentioned, there are times, right, when if something is already there, I can see that once and then I can code, is what I have always learned, right, in college, all of this. But when you come here, there is no example for you. You have to create something. So that's where your creativity comes into picture, right? So it's always good to not to have spoon-fed, even in our schools or college, and then because we have to write exactly what is there in the book.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Exams, they'll give you marks based on that. Almost most of the times, even now also. But when you go to actual work, it's not the case.
Correct.
You have to create something new.
True.
Okay. So that is one very good. So first company itself. So we worked in a not a complex project as such, but an interesting project which you have not expected and went. And people are also, very helpful. Even the seniors who are there, they taught us how to start.
Got it.
Yeah.
So compared to the kind of work that you were doing then and the kind of work that you're doing now, what are some of the differences that you see?
Okay. See, there, like in some of the companies, what they do is for these years of experience, this is the particular responsibilities which are assigned to you, right? So that is the only thing which you do. Okay. Other than that, it is the responsibility of someone else. So, for example, test case design and development is for lead. Test framework development is for lead or architect.
Yeah.
So that is the responsibilities. But currently, where I'm working and when I see people, it's not the case.
It's more fluid now.
Yeah, we promote people to do everything and we teach them. Even test case design and development, a tester should know. And also, we were doing waterfall model and all. Now the technology has evolved, the process we follow in testing, agile methodology, all of this has evolved, and we have to learn new things, right? So currently, when I see people are involved, even associate exploratory tester or associate tester is involved from requirement analysis phase and understand the product well. Not everywhere it happens, but it should be the norm.
There are a lot of positive changes compared to that time zone and today's time zone. Do you see any negative changes that have also happened? Like some things that were good then, but they are not being followed today.
So negative things is, since I work mostly in automation, what I see in automation is people start with test automation tools first. Okay, before learning the programming language. Correct. Okay, that is the major disadvantage or the negative thing which I see currently, at least in test automation. Because when we learned, at least since I'm from computer science background, I learned programming and then moved to test automation tools. But somebody comes new to programming or test automation, they directly start with the test automation tool, Selenium. So from my perspective, it's a negative actually, because you can learn the tool anytime. Any tool anytime actually, but you can't learn the programming language easily. So you start with the programming language and then go to any tool. You can learn any tool. See, for example, if you learn JavaScript, you can work with Selenium, you can work with Playwright, you can work with Cypress. But what people do is they start with Selenium, so they are stuck with Selenium itself. Now the people started adapting Playwright also, because it has its own advantages over Selenium. Selenium has its own advantages compared to Playwright. But if you want to move to Playwright, then you have to learn TypeScript, right? So start with that's what I feel.
Language. I think now the motivation also, because we run Moolya and a lot of students learn with us. One of the experiences or knowledge learning that I've had is a lot of people learn code to automate. And not learn code to build tools.
Correct.
And because they're learning code to automate, their knowledge is also bounded. There's a boundary they create for themselves because they learn only that much, which will help them to use Selenium or APM or whatever and use that automate. And because that's their goal.
Correct.
If the goal was to learn to code to build tools, to build features, then they would have done even better. They would have learned better programming.
Correct.
Then that would have also had a positive impact on whatever work they do, whether test automation or something else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So given that while we'll go back to this, but you're at any point of your journey while you were, since how long has it been since you're in automation space?
Totally, I have 14 plus years of experience. In that, around 8-9 years, I'm into automation.
So was there a time in between where you shifted to dev?
I have done few dev tasks for few months. For example, there was a client with whom I have worked with. So they wanted to build a dashboard in their application itself. Okay. Testing dashboard. So if they onboard a new partner, they can run the test and see the results in the dashboard in the staging or test environment itself. Okay, to give them the confidence, the partner's confidence that their features are working fine or not. So for that, they wanted us to develop that particular front end and the back end
uh,
to fetch the, test
results.
data, results, reports, and then show it in the front end. So for that, I worked in, there is a API called, it's API development framework called Fast API in Python. So I worked on it in Python and then developed those.
So in your time period, in this time that you did you ever feel like you should move into a dev and stop working in automation? Because that's something that I see a lot of people feel in automation space. How it has, so somehow in the social hierarchy that is built is you have testers, then you have automation engineers, and then you have developers. That's how the salary payments are structured. So did you ever feel like you should move to dev?
No, I have never felt I moved to dev. But when starting of my career, I felt when I started, and there are friends who worked with me, my colleagues who worked with me, they have moved to dev because that's what they wanted. But I have never felt, even though I worked here, I felt that test automation also you are developing a solution.
Correct.
Okay, you are a developer actually. It's not only that people who create applications or solutions or services are not only the developers. Even I feel we are also developers. We are also developing a solution to test that application. I mean, I never felt that I have to move to dev team. And also pay wise, if you are strong in what you are doing, you get equally paid as developers is what I feel. I have seen people who get equally paid as developers. So be strong in what you do. And test automation is not only about developing test scripts. As you mentioned, it's about developing tools which supports the manual task which people are doing everything, reducing the manual effort which goes further than the test scripts, right? Development, execution. So definitely I feel that you will be equally paid if you follow your passion.
So since I run hiring at Moolya, and I know a couple other companies also, I have a visibility that good automation engineers, good functional testers also are paid either at par or sometimes even more than good developers on the parallel side.
Yes.
So that's there, but somehow that thought process is there in the space, and we're actively trying to counter it.
Yes.
Great. So, what is the work that you do today?
Today, I have been with Moolya for the past 5 years. So whatever work I did earlier and I'm doing here, I'm doing whatever I was doing earlier also. But plus, I'm doing a lot of other things which I'm very happy to do because I have got a lot of opportunities here. For example, currently I'm part of a project, but before I got into the project, I go and meet multiple clients and then understand their problem statement and provide them solutions in both exploratory testing and test automation, right? So that was an opportunity, or that was an experience which helped me to understand customer problems more and adapt solutions even in the current project where I'm working, right? So these are some of the things which I didn't do before. So when I say customer problems, when people come with so many problems, right, which you have not heard of, it's interesting to solve those problems. And so many, we have enterprise customers, we have startups which who develop a small application. Everybody has their own problems, right? So it's definitely, this is something which I have not ever thought that I would do, but since I got an opportunity here, so it's going well. So that is one thing I do. The other thing is sometimes I involve in training. Some people here in test automation, Selenium, Appium, Java, Python. So I do that also. So I like training people. So when I started working in Selenium, right? So I mentioned that I worked in a proprietary language and all when I started. But the next project where I went, it was Selenium and Java, and it was in 2013. And at least I didn't know Selenium was used, but not that much, if I'm not wrong. Okay. So you don't have like how you have Udemy right now, which you get for some less than $1,000, and you learn. And there was not proper KT because even people are new to Selenium in the project, so they can't teach you. You have to explore. So I started watching YouTube videos and I started learning things.
So who was one of the prominent people then at that time who were training, like building YouTube videos and others? Do you remember anybody?
Ashish Thakur. His name was Ashish Thakur.
Is he still?
No. I tried to find him. I couldn't find him. But he was one guy who put this YouTube videos. Currently, we have Naveen Automation Labs and others, right? Mukesh Otwani and others. that time Ashish Thakur, but maybe I know only him.
Yeah.
But his videos are really good. That helped me a lot to learn. So I started learning like that, and then after that I took a course itself from him. He had a course, paid course
on Udemy or live training.
No, live training. He had he had a portal, and he had but this course I took in 2017. This I started studying in 2013, but I wanted to do advanced Selenium and all. I know he would be the right person. So 2016 or 17, I took this course. So he
was it helpful?
Yeah, it was. No, I got my next job because of that training actually. So definitely he made a difference at that particular point of time, at least in the Selenium space and in my career path also. And so we were talking about how learning trainings and all, right? So that's how I learned. So it was not easy to find articles or training materials on automation tools and programming. That time, nobody would tell you that you have to learn programming first and do this. This guy told you have to learn Java first or Python first, then you move into automation tool. But not everybody knows, right? But yeah, right now when I take training, that's what I tell people. If I take training, I take 3 weeks for Python, 1 week for Selenium, or 2 weeks for Selenium. So the weightage will be more to programming and then less to the tool, because tool definitely people will learn because you have a standard set of APIs. But when it comes to programming, you have to create reusable libraries, modules. For that, you need creativity. Creativity comes with practice also. You practice programming a lot, automatically you will be able to develop frameworks, develop reusable modules, develop new tools, even move into development if you really want.
Great. So the trainings when you do today, and do you what positives do you see in the students of today compared to the students in your time zone when you graduated?
Yeah, as I mentioned, in our time we didn't have much guidance, at least, or we didn't seek guidance. Is what there are people who go and seek guidance, right? We didn't seek. We means some of us may not have seek guidance how to approach things. But right now, since we have that understanding, what should be the approach? Our new people who are coming are definitely eager to learn, and then they have been taught the latest programming languages or technologies in their college itself. So as I mentioned, we didn't have Python at all. I think software testing is also taught in colleges nowadays, if I'm not wrong. Some chapters, right? But we didn't have any of those. So when we see people right now, they definitely have an understanding into software testing, foundation level, and they are taught Python and all the other languages which are commonly used in automation right now. So that is one advantage. And they have people like Moolya and very well experienced people who are in the industry who can train them. So that is one advantage I see, which was at least not there when we were.
So in the automation space also, while there's Selenium, Playwrights coming up and others, what are some of the technologies that you think are going to go away, like which are being used currently a lot, but based on what you see in the space, are going to go away, and what new might come in?
As you mentioned, the Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, all of these tools are there. It will take time for them to go away, or it may not go away at all, because they have a strong presence right now. If I'm not wrong, at least 75% of projects use Selenium. Then Playwright has slowly started occupying space in the test automation space. But what I feel is, slowly going forward, there will be a lot of low-code tools, and AML is going to come into automation space. Even, development, obviously, we know slowly they are coming into space. So the future is going to be a low code automation or AML. Doesn't mean that there will be less testers or testers. It is going to be, you have to go learn upskill yourselves in those low code, no code automation tools or AML. How do we use AML in test automation space will be the future. What I see actually. So when I work with customers, or when I currently work with customers, all of them are looking for AML solutions or low code solutions. There are multiple reasons for that. You have faster time to develop, and then you will get quality code which is being developed. But still, even if you use low code or no code tool or AML, still you need to have that coding experience, because it is in the initial stages. Whatever solutions which are coming into the market are in the initial stages. It's still not very well production grade automation solution any tool is developing right now. Otherwise, we all of us would be using AML solution, right? So it's still in the development stages. So all of the testers should start exploring AML solutions, low code solutions, and also you should have good coding experience. So if a code is developed by, for example, I don't know, some of us might have tried ChatGPT, right? Most of the code is good, but if you see, small percentage of the code has issues, even the code which is generated by ChatGPT, right? So you should know programming to understand that it's wrong. Otherwise, you will not know that it is wrong. So you can't trust exactly the code generated by AML tools right now. So you need to have coding experience, right? And also we should explore how to incorporate, as I mentioned, AML in automation. Right? What are there are self-healing tests which customer is expecting, right? No, they don't want a tester when a test fails to go back and update the code. So how do you incorporate those solutions in your test automation framework is some of the things which we can start exploring right now itself.
Correct. So overall, do you feel professionally satisfied as an individual? Whatever work that you've done?
Definitely. I was very happy that I got into testing. Not only automation, I would say testing as a whole, right? Automation comes inside that. So, see, right now, even if in my everyday life, right, I see things as a tester only. Okay. You always have that doubt. Okay.
Curse of being a tester.
Yes, curse of being, exactly. So you go to a shop, you buy something, you check everything, right? You check the expiry, everything, right? And then you see some texts in a Instagram shorts and all, and there is a mistake over there. You see the mistake. Okay, there is a mistake here. So definitely, it had a huge impact on my life.
Lifestyle change.
Yeah, correct. And I'm
any memories or events that you have from your time doing in testing as a software tester in your professional work that has had an impact and that made you love the craft more, be in the craft further, grow further in this craft?
There is not particular incident. There is no particular incident, but I would say the time being in Moolya had taught me a lot, as I mentioned, than what I have learned earlier. But those are my foundations, what I have learned earlier. But Moolya had given me a lot of opportunities, which had a huge impact. Where when I see testing, I mean, I know that, okay, test case design is there, test plan is there, test strategy is there, you develop test scripts, you identify bugs. But when you came into Moolya, so you were taught that context driven testing is there, prevent bugs are there. Now you know that, okay, this is different, this is something everybody has to do it, right? So this definitely had a huge impact in my career. At least it had a huge impact in my career to grow as a tester.
How do you see your future? What do you want to do now that you've done 14 years automation? You're doing trainings, you're building solutions. You have at least 14 more years, if not more. What do you plan to do?
My plan is to continuously learn things. I never wanted to be stagnant in what I learned. I never wanted to stop with the first tool I learned, like Selenium, Java, and master in one, and then leave everything else. Is not what I want. I don't want to be master in everything also, but I want to continuously learn and update my knowledge. One thing I want to do is to build a team who explore the emerging solutions and build testing solutions, right? Based on AML is what my idea is, to build a team who works in AML and develop emerging testing solutions is what I see. And as I mentioned, then I want to continuously learn new tools or testing processes, right?
Got it. So back at home, your family wanted you to be a doctor. Are they happy seeing you what you're doing now? Cheating softwares.
Yeah. They're happy. See, it's actually most of our parents, right? At least they have like doctors, engineers, those
lawyers
is there. Okay. So when I became engineer, right? So I went to get my mark sheet in school. Okay. So my biology teacher was the one who was there in the you collect your last mark sheets. Right? See, my mark was like decent mark, but it was not up to the mark where you can get cut off for medical, right? So she was having a lot of hope in me because she was my tuition teacher also, that I'll become a doctor, because it's pride for them also, that students, obviously, and she put a lot of effort on me. And she told, your mom wanted your sister to become a doctor, elder sister, okay, and you to become a doctor. Now only your younger sister is left, and she became a doctor. So now they're happy. One of us is a doctor.
Good.
No? Yeah.
So good. So great, Santhosh. What words, message, if you had one message for existing testers and new testers to come in, what would that be? How do they? One is make enough money in this space, and second is enjoy their time.
One line I would say is, do not think testing is about creating test cases and test scripts. Testing is more than that. You bring the quality to the product. So you are equally important as anyone in the software development phase. Right? So never think that testing is below development and all. You are also developers. Right? You are part of a development team. So you are also developers, and you are also developing testing solutions. So learn more than test cases and test scripts. There is more than that. When I say more than that, you have to prevent bugs before it gets into the product. How to do that? Definitely you'll learn.
There are ways to do it. Again, how do they make money in their time doing software testing, and how do they enjoy doing software testing?
So it will be different for different people. For at least for me, I'll give an example, and if it suits, definitely. Never stop learning. So I have repeated this earlier also, but never stop learning. Once you stop learning, you think that you are doing the same thing, monotonous work again and again. You think that, okay, I'm just creating test cases. Dive deep into the product. When I say learning, it doesn't mean that you learn new programming language, new tools. Learn the product or application, what you work. There are a lot of things in your product or application. Dive deep into it, right? And then identify the vulnerabilities, issues, and then not only that, you can give suggestion that how this UX is not good, right? How this feature is going to help user, right? You think of yourself as a user, end user. You'll never get bored. Okay. You'll never get bored if you start learning things, dive deep into the product, because when a new feature comes, you're going to test a new feature. It's not going to do the monotonous work again and again. So when you learn things and do this extra things, right, you will be different from a person who just write a test cases or test scripts. That is not only testing. Want to make money? Do more than what others are doing. What are those more than others? Like deep dive into the product. You give suggestions to product team, development team. This feature is not up to the mark. This particular drop down is not good. This button is not in the correct place. It's not easily accessible. Usability is not good. We need to do integration testing. Talk more than functional testing. Talk more than regression testing. Right? So when you speak all of this, you are definitely going to make more money than someone who is just doing test case execution or test script development. Right?
Makes sense. Great. Thanks, Santhosh. It was a quick conversation, and I actually got a lot of insights from this, and I also got a lot of ideas of what more we could do together as we go forward. And I would love to discuss those with you outside the camera. But yeah, it was good conversation, and I'm sure a lot of people who are going to watch this will also get to learn a lot, and they'll be able to look into your experiences and find out how they can also do better. They can do more. Great. Thanks, Santhosh.